Hi, Lee Phillips. I want to talk about, does a trust pay taxes? Well, there are a couple of things that are certain in life, and one is death and the other is taxes, right? Trusts get to pay taxes. Well, kind of. Maybe not. Who knows? It depends upon what type of a trust it is. If it's the grantor trust, and you can check out other videos. And by the way, follow the links down below and make sure that you get all the information off Legalese. And don't forget to subscribe, okay? But the trust pays taxes if it's an irrevocable trust. Now, if it's a revocable trust and it's called a grantor trust by the IRS, that means the same guy sets it up, the same guy manages it as trustee, and the same guy is the beneficiary, then the IRS calls it a disregarded entity or a grantor trust. You will use your Social Security number. The IRS will not know that the trust exists. You will file your 1040 just like you always did, and you get to claim all of the income within the trust. The assets in the trust, they're going to make money, right? Your trust should have a provision in it which says that all of the assets are paid out, at least quarter annually or at least annually. Paid out doesn't mean you take them out of the trust. It means that you get to recognize them as your income and pay income taxes on it. The IRS wants its pound of flesh, and they'll get it from the trust or they'll get it from you. You want them to get it from you because your rates are a ton cheaper than the trust tax rates. And I have a whole video and website on trust tax rates. But just to put it in perspective, you got to make a ton of money to get into the 37% tax bracket. In the trust only has to make $12,500 to get into the 37% tax bracket. So you pay all the money out, which means you recognize it on your income taxes. If it's an irrevocable trust, that trust has to get an EIN number, a tax ID number, and it has to file its own tax return and file its own taxes. Now, hopefully, you've paid all the money out of the trust so that the trust doesn't actually have any income, because if you pay the money out of the trust, it gets a deduction for paying the money out, and then you have to pay the tax on it. But you don't want it to be paid in the trust because of the trust tax rates. So you zero the trust out. Trust doesn't pay any taxes. It files a tax return when it's irrevocable. Now, this isn't your standard living revocable trust. It's your irrevocable trust, the trust after somebody died, actually, or you can set up an irrevocable trust in the beginning. But they have to get the tax ID number. They have to file a tax return. Hopefully, they don't pay any taxes. This is Lee Phillips talking about, does a trust pay taxes?